Hey everybody! Oh, can't see me, hold on. Hey, here I am. Woo, that's bright. Okay, let's get started on today's lesson. Oh, and you can see I'm right side up now. I've kind of figured out how to do it. And that, and here we go. Okay, if you see today, we're going to be doing something somewhat simple, but sometimes it does become a bit difficult. And what it is we're going to practice writing expressions and equations. Well, the first thing we have to do to be able to do this is we have to be able to tell the difference between an expression and an equation. Well, an expression is something that's written that does not contain an equal sign. So in this example right here, -5 plus n, no equal sign, that is an expression. However, when we add an equal sign to it and give a value that we could get to, if we knew that, it's called an equation. Eventually we're going to get to solving equations by the end of the week, but for the first couple days here we're just going to be practicing writing them. Now when we write equations, we are going to only do it this way. First, step 1. We're going to use the words to describe the situation, using only the most important words. So we're just going to write out the way we want to write the equation in words. Step 2 is we're going to define a variable by assigning a letter to represent what it is we want to find, the unknown quantity. For example, we might use the letter N, or the letter X, or the letter, oh my gosh, I can't even talk today, the letter blah blah blah, the letter R, S, T, any letter that we want to use to represent a number that we're trying to find. And then the last step is to actually write the equation. Take what we wrote in words and make it an algebraic, that means it has a letter in it like this one, an algebraic equation. So let's jump right into some examples. We're going to start out, and we have one done for you on your notes. It says James had a score of -120 points in the first round of a game. His total score after 2 rounds was 50 points. Hopefully you already know that if he started out at -120 and then ended up with a positive number, that the second round he had a pretty high total. But again, today we're just practicing writing them. We're not actually going to solve any. So to write that equation, we're first going to write it with words. His first round score added to his second round score, and that gave him his final round score. Then we're going to assign a variable. We're going to let the letter S represent his second round score. Then we go right into writing the actual equation. We take his first round score, which we saw up here was -120. We're going to put that first, plus whatever he scored in the second round, which we don't know. That's what we're trying to find, his second round score. But we do know that his total at the end was 50. Okay, and again, we'll work later on in the week on how to actually solve these. Now we're going to do a different one. After dropping 12 degrees, the temperature outside was -5 degrees. What is the starting temperature? Well, we're going to write this with words. So we have the starting, and I'm going to shorten some of these. I'm going to write temp. Okay, so that's the first thing we had. After dropping, well, we should know that is a negative, and then we're going to put the amount dropped. That's the second thing. So our starting temperature minus our amount dropped, and we know that that was a total and gave us the current temperature, which was -5. So I'm going to write this below. We're going to write current temp. Okay, so the starting temperature minus the amount dropped, and that gives us the current temperature. Now we're going to let T, which should make sense for temperature, equal the starting temp. So The letter T is going to stand for the starting temperature. Now we're just going to go and fill in our amounts. Starting temperature at the beginning, well, that's what we're trying to find out. What is the starting temperature? We do know that it dropped, so we're going to say T for starting temperature. It dropped 12, and we can put the degree sign if we want to. And that gives us the current temperature, which was -5. So now we have written the equation, and once we did that, we would be able to then go on and solve it. Okay? Again, if any point you need me to slow down, I can't really slow down. You're watching something I taped a few days ago. Just hit pause. No big deal. Hit pause, and you can even go back if you want to, whatever you need to do, and you can play catch up. Okay. Ooh, that's upside down. Next example. Kevin scored 20 points, which was 4 times Corey's score. What is Corey's score? So we're trying to figure out, based on what Kevin scored, and Corey's score was, this was 4 times what Corey's score was. So we're going to take Corey's score, 4 times that, well, times 4, and that equaled Kevin's score. Okay, and then we look back to make sure it makes sense. Kevin's score was 20, and that was 4 times bigger than Corey's score. Okay, now we're going to take some variables. Now in this one, we're going to be using Corey's score, so I'm just going to say C is what we're going to stand for Corey's score. I'm sorry for my handwriting. I'm trying to get this done in short and sweet as possible. So C is for Corey's score. Now we're just going to go and fill in the equation. Well, Corey's score is what we don't know, so we're just going to leave that C there. Times 4 equals, and what was Kevin's score? Kevin's score was 20. Now, obviously we could figure out that Corey only scored 5 points. We'll get to that later, but that's how we would write it. Alright, last example. It says you can also write an equation with 2 variables to express the relationship between 2 unknown quantities. So in this example, we're going to have 2 things we don't know. It says Javier is 4 years younger than his sister Rita. Given J, and that is Javier's age. That means they would tell us what Javier's age is, but they're not going to in this case. Which equation can be used to find Rita's age? So again, if they said Javier is 10, well then we could solve the problem using one of these equations. But for now we're just going to practice writing it. So Javier is 4 years younger than his sister Rita. So Rita's age minus 4 equals Javier's age. And it says that Rita's age is older. It says Javier's younger, that means Rita is older. So that means you got to take Rita's age and subtract from it to find Javier's. So now we're going to use the letter R for Rita and J for Javier. And now we're just going to fill those in the places they need to go. So Rita's age minus 4 is equal to Javier's age. Now when you look at the 4 answers down here, there's one down there that might be it, but it doesn't quite look exactly like this one. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means they wrote it a different way. So they started out with Javier's first. They wrote Javier's age, remember that's what J stood for. Javier's age is equal to Rita's age minus 4. That's the same exact equation as this one, it's just flipped over. So this is going to be our correct answer. And if you go through and read the other ones, they won't make they won't make any sense at all for the age of Javier or Rita. Is Javier's age equal to Rita's age divided by 4? No, it didn't say that. Is Javier's age equal to Rita's age plus 4? Well, that could be a possible error you would make if you couldn't quite figure out who was older. But if you read it a few times, you'll see, I mean, it clearly says Javier is younger. is 4 years younger. Okay, and then again here, this is Javier's age is equal to 4 times Rita's age. So those are not any of the choices. Okay, so now at the bottom of your notes, you have 2 more to go. Just want to try this one. And again, you're just writing it. Write it in words. Then put a variable in and write it again. Or just write down what the variables are, sorry, that you're going to be using. And then actually write the equation. Okay, and this will just give it some good practice. This one down here, you just have to kind of want to follow the same steps. And then you're going to figure out which one of these equations is the correct one. Okay, so signing off. Hope you all had a good weekend, and we'll get these done. We'll write some equations beginning of the week, and then at the end of the week we'll actually start solving them. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.